Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Podhead Picker on Instagram. If you like the show, make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, follow me on social media. What's going on? It's another week in reselling. I'm actually a little late on the podcast. I was supposed to do it at the end of the week, and it just got away from me. I don't know what happened. The week happened. So I'm not like as mad as I should be right now, but I am a little ticked off. Just a little annoyed. So I did a Facebook Marketplace. I never find shit on Facebook Marketplace. It's just like, it's all people now just wanting like eBay prices for shit. So like, it's really hard to find shit. And then when you do find shit, it's already, gone, or somebody offers a person a bunch more money, and then like it's just really fucking annoying. So it's like almost time to get rid of Facebook, I think. So this listing pops up, and it was like in a local group, and it was for Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen dolls. It was still sealed, but the package had a little bit of damage, so they were only asking $10. I was like, oh sweet, it was the next town over. So I'm like, yeah, I can come get it. So she's like, all right, I'll have my husband leave it out and then just leave the money. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go drive over there, and it's like deep into the next town over. So it was like a 20-minute drive. So 40 minutes there and back. And yeah, like that's, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that I'm, don't have a ton of time. So like a 40-minute fucking excursion for no reason is just really annoying. Oh, so I didn't even finish. Yeah, so fuck. I just blew the fucking... So anyway, I showed up and the thing wasn't there. I got there. It was in like a really nice area, nice neighborhood. I pull up and it doesn't look like anybody's there. So I'm like, all right. So I text the lady or message her on whatever. I'm like, hey, like, I'm here. The toy's not here. And so no response yet. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll wait another minute. So then I'm like, fuck this, I'm not waiting. I'm here. So I ring the doorbell. Nobody answers. And she had said that her husband was at home, like, working. So I'm like, all right. So then I get in the car and I'm like waiting. And she's like, oh, my husband went to the gym or some shit. She texts me finally. So if you want to come back later, I'm like, I just drove 20 minutes to get here. Like, I'm not coming back later. I was like, if you want to meet me later, I can meet you. But other than that, I'm all set. Like, so she's like, I'm so sorry. So I was like, all right. So I just gave her a shitty rating. And put that she, fucking made me waste my time, basically. I mean, I know it doesn't really do shit. That's why I'm like, I'm not even that mad about it. I can't do shit about it, you know what I mean? I mean, I know where she lives, so I could egg her fucking house or pay some teenagers to do it, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, kids, egg this fucking house. Here you go. Here's fucking 2 cases of beer. You got to get the kids that want you to buy beer. I don't even know if kids ask for alcohol anymore. I've actually seen, like, I have been asked to buy alcohol. It was when I was a lot younger. Like, I was probably not much older than the kids asking me, and they were like, can you get us some alcohol? And I remember saying no. My buddy did it one time when I was with him. I was always like, no, fuck off. Like, because I never would do that. I got to give him props for doing it. I mean, maybe I should have, so some fucking weirdo didn't do it, but yeah, I've been asked before. But yeah, I actually did just find a couple other Mary Kate and Ashley dolls randomly at a yard sale for like $1 a piece. They were in with a bunch of Barbies. But yeah, if you ever see dolls like that, I've found like a Britney Spears one that was like just the doll, no clothes. It sold for like $20. It was like a talking one that didn't talk either. So if it had worked, it would have been worth more. And then, yeah, these ones go for like, I could probably sell them for like maybe $20 to $25. But we'll see. Maybe more. Sometimes if they're rare, I don't know. Anyway, and then I keep finding Bratz dolls. And I have like a fucking pile of Bratz dolls. I was going to do them on Whatnot, but I'm like, I don't know if they're worth more. Like, I keep looking them up, and I don't know if I just am getting lucky, but I keep finding like rare ones. The last one I sold for like $80. And then I looked up these ones. I had found 4 at a yard sale. 2 of them were like part of a set that they were twins. So they're not complete or anything, but like the comps on those were pretty crazy. I think they were like $300 to $400 for the set, brand new. So you could still get like, you know, and people were selling them for like $50 each or something like that, which is like, you know, obviously not a ton of money, but for what I paid for these things, I paid like 50 cents each. I've got a bag of them. Like, I just kept finding them. So I think I might just start going through those. I've got like a bunch of big lots that I have to go through that I'm working on getting through. And I just picked up some, I'll talk about it in a minute because I'm going to get to that. But yeah, I got like a ton of Monster High stuff too, and that stuff I know sells well. So I just need to go through it. Yeah, I've got like a lot of good shit to sell. And now, so my daughter started school today. We dropped her off this morning. So it's been like the first day. My wife's home, luckily, and she thinks I have an attitude today. I don't know if she can hear me or not, but I think she said that I have an attitude just now. I don't think I do. I was a little snippy earlier because I was trying to get shit ready for school. And like, I was just making sure that we were moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? So, plus it's like, you know, I'm going to be the one doing it most of the time. So it's like, it gets like, you know, I was just trying to make sure we had a rhythm going, make sure I'm on the time. So we ended up getting there like almost too early. But it was fine because we got a parking spot because that parking lot fills up. So I think I'm just going to get her there that same time every day and just wait in the car, do like some sing-alongs or something, get her ready for the day. But yeah, so we did that today. So yeah, we got to pick her up this afternoon. So she's doing a full day. But it's great. You know, I got up earlier. Like, I had to get up because normally I get up and I do like my listing on my phone. So I'm like, fuck, I had to get up. And then like, I'm hoping I'll have some time to list this afternoon. I still have a couple packages for my Monday orders left to do. I did them all last night, but then I had like 3 orders this morning. But yeah, so it's been nice because it's been like, eBay's been steady. I've been selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I met a lady yesterday for a Facebook Marketplace thing. And yeah, so now it's getting ready for Q4. I got some Halloween stuff listed. I found a cool Simpsons sweatshirt where it's like them, they're like skeletons. It's a newer one. I thought it was vintage when I first grabbed it, but I think I'll still be able to get some money for it. I think I paid 50 cents a piece. I paid $1 for 2 things of clothes. And one of the shirts I got was like a vintage Yosemite Sam from 1995. It was a 2-sided t-shirt. So that was a sick one. There's 2 of them listed. But I can't remember what the soles were going for. The soles were going for over 100. It's a cool shirt. But so yeah, this past weekend was this town-wide yard sale. I forgot it was coming up. Like, I always forget about it. It's the week before, so next weekend, this weekend coming up is a big neighborhood sale where it's like all of these houses in the neighborhood they get like ready for a big sale. And so yeah, you got to get there like crazy early. And so yeah, I'm going to be getting there pretty early with my kid. So I'm going to have to bring like diapers and shit. And I'm bringing a wagon. So it'll be interesting because my kid's not going to want to walk. I'm hoping my buddy Jameson can come with me. The one that he's been on the podcast. So I got to hit him up after this podcast and see if he can help me out with that. Uncle Jameson. But But anyway, so I always forget about this one because that one's coming up this weekend, and so this one is like it's a bigger town one. So I think I had like 70 sales in my phone for this weekend. Definitely didn't hit that many, but a lot of them were like last year was way better. A lot of the ones I went to were houses and shit. This year it was like a lot of vendors and like people trying to sell. Like you could tell like there was like I went to one. This dude gave me a tip and he doesn't know. He's just trying to help me out. He's like, oh, there's a place. They had all this vintage, new, old, dead stock like T-shirts. They were all like Nike and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, all right. So I got there and it was like all fake. All of it. You could tell. It was like, there was half of them were like printed screen, you know what I mean? Screen printed. They were old, vintage. And I'm sure like there's probably a market for them somewhere. But I was like, there was so many of them. I'm like, I would have had to buy like a bunch of them. But yeah, I just was like, nah, I'm just going to avoid them. So there was those. They were like screen printed on like Gildan or whatever brand. And then there was Nike ones that were just, the stitching was horrible. The tag was really bad. So you could tell just by looking at it. So the dude who told me like didn't know. He was just trying to help me out. He's like, yeah, I know you sell that shit. So, but yeah, they're definitely a vendor. So like, yeah, but I did find some shit. I got a couple Pokemon like games. DS games. I should have bought the stack of DS games. I don't know why the fuck. I should have just been like $2 a game and just bought the whole stack, but I wasn't thinking. So, but yeah, it was tough because it was like you got to drive here, there, and everywhere, and then you feel like you're just fucking wasting gas driving around. I mean, it's fun, but like, yeah, the parking situation, they have like no parking signs everywhere because they do like a peach festival, so it's like, it's really annoying trying to maneuver. Last year I feel like it was better last year, but we'll see. So, and then this week, the one that's coming up, they've eliminated all the vendors. So that should be dope. I'm glad that they did that. Because there's like people, that just go there to set up. So it just eliminates a lot of that. And then some people are setting up Friday. So I'm going to go through Friday and check it out too, which is nice. So I'll go there before I pick up my kid from school, or after probably. I'll have to do it after. So yeah, our first day of school today, and then she's got gymnastics tonight. We didn't think that through. So, but that's just literally like, we literally live like right next door to the gymnastics place. Like not literally, but it's right there. We could walk there if we wanted to. So yeah, long day today. Football season started. I definitely lost to my wife in fantasy football for week 1, and it's her first year in the league. And I think I said last time that her team, she got stacked with picks, and yeah, she had Josh Allen, who just like fucking decimated my team. And yeah, so week 1 in the books for me. So we'll see. My team's good though. I would have beat most other people had I played like a couple people on my bench, and so it wasn't like a total loss. She just completely blew me out of the water. Like she beat everybody. So, and in this league, it's like you get $100 back if you get the highest point total of week 1. So it's like all my friends from home. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah, school's back. This is like the first time that I'm experiencing like, oh, school starts, and then you have like the days out. So like Thursday's like an early release day, and so I'm just like now realizing like, oh shit, dude, like school, you have to do a bunch of shit because we got the other one napping at certain points on early release, so it's gonna be like a whole thing trying to pick up and drop off out, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, I hit a few sales. at the town-wide sale. I'm trying to think of some highlights. I found some Halloween stuff. Like nothing too crazy except for like the vintage clothes. Oh, the first sale I went to, so it was a sale that was just up the street from my house, was like it was literally like 2 minutes up the street. But I went there. They were supposed to start at 8. So I went there at 7. And she was already like fully set up. And so I was like, hey, are you allowing people to shop early? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay. I started saying that. Are you allowing people to shop early? Sometimes they say no, but a lot of times they say yeah. So she's like, yeah, go ahead. So I start going through. And most of it's stuff that I don't really want. And I think I had sent her a message asking if she had any like toys, video games, that type of stuff. She said no. So I knew that already. And I went and I found like 4 North Face jackets and an Oakley snowboarding jacket and like Oakley snowboarding pants. And she was charging me $2 a piece. And then I got like 2 Oakley backpacks. One's like a heavy duty backpack. So, you know, a few $100s worth of shit just for like, I think I paid $12 for everything. So that was pretty sweet. And I think I might have even paid just an even 10, but I don't remember. But then I ended up going back because when I was leaving, this guy had just got there and he was like starting to unload his shit. He didn't end up having shit to sell. He had some bullshit. But when I got back, like one of the guys that lives in my neighborhood, I've, you know, waved to him or whatever, but I just have never come in contact with him. But he, I heard him talking to the guy because I recognize his car and shit too. So I like heard him talking to the guy and he's talking about how he's got all this stuff at home. He's like, got all these, he's like, yeah, but got stuff that I've collected since I was like a kid, you know, from the 60s and 70s. And he's like, and I just have nothing to do with it. He's like, my kids don't want it. He's like, you know, they're not going to want any of that shit, blah, 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 blah. I just don't know what to do with it. So I'm like trying to figure out, I should have said something then, but I was pussied out. I'm like, hey, I noticed your car, but I'm fucking neighbors. You know what I mean? But I did like kind of ask the guy if he had any type of things that that guy might have had, and he didn't really respond. Like I asked the guy who was at the sale if he had any of those things, try to trigger like a conversation, but he just kind of walked away. But if I see him around, I'm gonna try to fucking go out of my way to be like, hey, what's up, dude? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So I just have to do that before he dies. Yeah, there was a fucking, and so I went to meet this lady yesterday, and like I had to go to the weed store, and like me and my wife went out Saturday night. My godmother was in town, so she watched like the kids after they went to bed with my mom. They came over and just were keeping an eye on the monitors and shit. So we went out to dinner and dinner and drinks at this. So we wanted to go sit at a bar, so we went to this bar. And in our area, like not a lot of shit's open late. So we had to put the kids to bed and then go out. So by the time we would have gotten most places, it was like, so our options were like Chili's, the 99, which is like a New England chain restaurant. It's good for, you know, like corporate type chain food. But it's just New England based. So it's a little bit smaller than like, you know, Chili's or stuff like that. So it is good. Like they have a really good menu. But it was like either those two or there's this newer place. So we went to the newer place and we didn't even think that they would have like music. So it was this girl who played acoustic guitar. She was actually really good. And, but like we got there, it was packed. And then around, I don't know, I forget what time it got like emptied out, and then it started to get full again. Closer to when we left. We left around like 10 when she finished playing the music. So yeah, so we had some drinks there, and then we went back to the house, and we had like stuff left over at the house. So when we got home, we had some more, like a few more drinks. We started drinking like Bud Lights, and I don't know. My wife said I had like 8 beers, but I don't know. I might have. So yeah, the next morning I was like slightly hungover, but I still had to get up for yard sales. And So I'll talk about the yard sales in a minute. I was talking about something else, so I don't want to get sidetracked on that. So yeah, so anyway, long story short, we were a little hungover yesterday, so we went out to breakfast and had like Bloody Marys. I had a Bloody Mary. They had mimosa. And so then I was like, all right. Like the rest of the day went by, and then it was like early evening, and we were watching some football. So I was like, oh, we should get some prosecco. Like prosecco's, if you don't drink that often and like you're hungover, sometimes I like to drink like a little bit of prosecco. And so I went to go pick up that, and I had to meet somebody from Facebook Marketplace, and did that. And like on the area that I was traveling, shortly after I was there, some car fucking like drove off the road into a house, and like it caught on fire and shit. And like I don't know how they transported him somewhere, but I was like, god damn. So I don't know if he like had like a seizure or some shit or whatever. Fucking I don't know why I just like started trying to guess what happened to him, but I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy because I was just on that road like a couple minutes before that, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, and then so Sunday, I started to talk about this a little earlier, but on Sunday so I went through like, because they did the townwide yard sale, was Saturday and Sunday, so some houses were Sunday only, so I put those ones on my list of like ones to hit, and so I hit those houses. And there was one house I stopped at. They had some Alf comics. So I paid up a little bit on the Alf comics, which I have a bunch of Alf comics. They didn't have the one that is worth a bunch of money, but I still have like a bunch of Alf comics. I was like, whatever, I can throw them into that lot or whatever. So I bought those, and then I started talking to the lady about this bin of like toys. They were her husband's like tabletop gaming. It was called like War Machine or something like that. It wasn't Warhammer, but it was like War Machine. And so it's still, I looked up a couple of the things, and like the case itself was worth like what they were asking for everything. So I was like, all right, I'll make my money back on the case, and there's got to be money to be made. You know what I mean? So, but they originally wanted like $80. So I was like, all right, I'll think about it. And I left. So I came back and offered 70 and ended up taking it. So I was like, all right, perfect. And so the lady who I'd bought the comics from, because it was like a multi-family yard sale, and the lady who I'd bought the comics from was like, oh, I have more comics if you're interested. So I was like, oh, if you do the same deal, like I'll do it. It was more Alf comics. So then she's like, well, I have some more over here if you want to just look at them all. I'm like, all right, like, yeah, I'll look at whatever comics you have. So then I asked her, I was like, is that all the comics you have? Like, do you have anything else? She's like, oh, not here at home. I have more. And so I took down her number, or I gave her my number. And so, like, she said she'll, give me a call about the comics. We'll see if she does. And I also met these other old ladies that said they had a bunch of old band T-shirts. So they both took my card. They were both, like, excited to sell some T-shirts. So I'm hoping that they hit me up, but we'll see. They never do. Sometimes they do, but I'm like that fucking cunt that I just fucking went to go pick up that bullshit. Maybe I am still a little fucking pissed about that. Just called the lady a cunt. I must be a little pissed off about it. But so I bought the War Machine stuff, 70, and then I got the Alf stuff. And she said she's got some old comics so I'm hoping that, And then I went around to a couple other places, and there wasn't a ton of sales, and so I just ended up heading back home. And that was it for this past weekend. Nothing too crazy. Oh, I did. So I had a pair of. I bought a pair of, they were like Louis Vuitton, Kanye West, like Yeezys, like some of the original pairs. And unfortunately, they were not authentic, so I got them authenticated, but they're like really good fakes. So I'm trying to figure out a value for those, but if they were real, they would have been worth like $3,000, something like that. So I got to figure it out. I'm trying to talk to I might hit up my homie and see if he knows anything about it. So we'll see. I'll have to do that. Let me actually put a note to text him. It's my cousin's boyfriend. So my wife calls me Saturday, I think, or what day was it? What's today? So it's yesterday was Sunday. Yeah, Saturday. So she was like, "Oh, there's like fucking bees out here. I took the girls outside and like there's like a bunch of bees." And she's like, "I think that there's a nest somewhere because they're going back and forth like behind our little garden box that we have." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So I go and look, and like it's hard to see because it's, tucked back, so I couldn't see a nest anywhere. So I was like, all right, well, when it's dark, like I can try to get closer and see if I can take a look. The whole time I didn't even think to like go up on my deck and look it straight down. You know what I mean? I was trying to see it from ground level like a fucking retard. So I go and the night we were drinking, I was like, all right, I'm going to go out there and do it now because I had forgot to do it earlier. So I was like, I'm going to go move the fucking thing. So I go and I like pull on it. And this one's a new one that we got from like my wife's grandmother's house when we did their estate clean out. So I go over and I'm like, I grab the top of it and I try to like pull it all as one, and the top like pops off. Like it's one of those things that you can disassemble or reassemble. So I pop the top off. I'm like, fuck. So I go to like pull it again, and like the other part pops off. So I had to like grab from the bottom and like pull it. And as I did it, I could see like bees starting to come. So I ran inside. So I went out the next day and looked down, not thinking like that I could do that. Finally, I realized like, oh, just go up top. And they had made a fucking hole like in the ground. I don't know if they made the hole. The hole was there, but we had put that thing there recently. Like that thing wasn't there. The garden thing. So I don't know if there was like an animal that burrowed under there and then they just made a fucking nest, but this thing was fucking huge. So I ended up I had to get some spray. And so I took those motherfuckers out yesterday. I felt bad because I just basically like wiped out a whole colony's existence. I'm like, I'm not going to call somebody to fucking take it out of here. Like these things are angry as fuck and I got kids. Like, plus like they were close enough to where like if our neighbor was outside, they could fucking sting her too. So I'm like, these things gotta fucking go. So I sprayed the shit out of them, not once but twice last night, and came out this morning, and man, that thing is like decimated. There's just a few of them like hanging around all fucked up, like probably mourning the loss of their homies and shit, and like their homes destroyed. So I'm gonna destroy it. Like it says wait 24 hours. So after 24 hours, I'm gonna like take a shovel, smash it up, and then fill the hole in with some dirt. Call it a day. I think I destroyed the nest. I can't sell it on eBay, but there was like a perfect nest at the end of the street that probably would have sold for a decent amount of money on eBay, but it ended up getting destroyed. So I think somebody sprayed it at some point because they were like, that was like hanging out in the road and like people were just walking by and there was just fucking bees right there. So that shit was crazy though. There were so many bees, like a ton of them, ton of motherfucking bees. I don't think I talked about the hoarder house yet. Because I didn't do a podcast last week, and that was like last weekend. Was it last weekend? What was last weekend? Yeah, I think it was last weekend. So I went to this sale. They had advertised it as like an estate that had to clean out and whatever. So they had like, when you got there, it was just like long ass tables. There was shit everywhere. Like, and a lot of it was like nasty, grody. But I ended up like finding like a sealed board game that I just listed for $400. I probably won't get that, but a pre-owned complete one sold for almost $200. So I was like, all right, there's none listed right now. I can start at $400, send an offer, and go from there. Because I always like, lower the price too, like regularly. So I found that. I found a bunch of like old shit from the 90s, Lisa Frank stuff, like. A lot of the stuff was in rough shape, so I had to skip over some stuff that I really would have liked to have taken, but it was not like in great shape. Then I got 2 big bins of like, it's a lot of Legos, but there's other shit mixed in. So I've been having to go through and, but there's like a ton of Lego Bionicles. And I already had a bunch of Lego Bionicle stuff that I have to like take down from Marketplace because it hasn't sold with this big lot of Lego. And I'm going to do like a Bionicle lot after I go. I guess you're supposed to look at the masks for Bionicle, which I didn't know. So I'm going to Google Lens those and go through those when I have some time. But yeah, this is just the first day my kid's back at school or start school. So we're trying to feel out how it's going to be. I already did my workout. I did my workout like before 10 o'clock. So I'm hoping that, you know, that's kind of a regular thing. And then when my kid goes down for rest, I can do my usual thing. And then once she's up playing, you know, I can work on listings and stuff like that. Because she's like, I try to do books and shit with her. She doesn't really. She's like, fuck off. Like, she'll read them by herself. She wants to go sit and read them by herself. Like, we read them all the time, but she'll like, you know, now she's at the point where she's like, I want to read them by myself. I'm like, all right, you know. So anyway, so yeah, this hoarder house, man, they had a ton of shit, and the price was so cheap. The lady was just like, she wanted to get rid of it. There was one person doing the like that stuff I was looking at, and then the other dude was doing like the tools, and he was just not budging on prices, and he was just being like a dick about shit, kind of like he was trying to do like higher prices. Yeah, he was not trying to let shit go cheap. And they had a ton of tools too. But yeah, they just had so much stuff, and like, yeah, you had to pick through like shit that was just beat up. Yeah, I found a bunch of old vintage shit, like new old stock stuff that was, you just had to clean it up a little bit too. So that was nice, like, but we'll see how much it goes for. Oh, and then I found a bunch of vintage t-shirts there. That's right. Like a bunch of vintage clothes. I found a vintage Blink-182 sweatshirt, vintage Led Zeppelin sweatshirt, like a zip-up sweatshirt from like 2004, 2005. Not anything crazy. But still, it was like, you know, vintage enough. So got all my Halloween stuff starting to list. I just got some more Halloween masks. But I'm a little high on my prices on Facebook Marketplace. I need to take the prices down a little bit. Yeah. I have like a Roly Poly from the show Roly Poly. It's like an obscure Disney show from like the 90s, I think. Like, it was kind of computer animation. I think it came out before like Pixar and shit. Like, I think that was cutting edge when Roly Poly first came out. It was like cutting edge shit. It was like, yo, look at this new show that's fucking got computer animated shit. And then I think Toy Story came out and people were like, fuck Roly Poly, it looks like shit. But it's a cool ass costume. It's got like a big ass head. It's from the Disney store. So I cleaned up the head. I threw the head in the wash because it's like a little plush thing. And then the rest I had to clean with like a baby wipe. People get fucking, what are they called? Dirty as fuck. The Halloween costumes. What are they called? And then latex masks. I found a couple of those. And I found a couple that were like beyond repair. I grabbed a bunch for cheap, and I was like, some of them I thought I could save and I couldn't. So if you use a blow dryer on like a latex or rubber, whatever the fuck the material is, I think it's latex. If you use a blowtorch, yeah, use a blowtorch to fucking dry them out. No, if you use a blow dryer and you do it like on the inside and then like on the outside, like you heat up the latex or whatever, it makes it like soft again. So if it's like hard, sometimes it gets hard, it'll make it soft again. I've saved a couple of masks that way. But it does work. So I have one that's like, I fixed most of it, but it's like the chin is still a little hard. So I got to go at it. So yeah, I'm going to get that stuff listed. Getting ready for Halloween, man. And then it's Christmas time. I have so many toys and shit I need to list. I've got a bunch of jewelry I think I'm just going to take to the jeweler and say fuck it. Because I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can sell it online, but it just takes forever. I still have some jewelry and shit online that's not sold. So, and it's like gold and silver and shit. So we'll see. I might just take it and be like, because they'll just give you however much it's worth by the weight. And a lot of it I don't think is going to be worth more than it is in weight. There's a necklace there. I can't tell if it's pearl or not. I don't know anything about pearls, but it's like not like anything. Like I've seen fake ones. I know exactly what they look like when they're fake. Like this is definitely higher quality. So I can't tell if it's like, and it was mixed in with stuff that this lady said was costume jewelry, but then none of it was costume jewelry. It was all like gold and silver. So, so we'll see. All right, let me see what I got on my phone. I don't think I have a ton of shit on my phone left to talk about, to be honest with you. I kind of lucked out that lady fucking blew me off today, so that way I had something to talk about. So in a way, I should be thanking her. Oh, fuck that lady. So there's just a couple. There's just a couple things I have written down. So I don't know why I was thinking about this. Like, if you've ever worked sales, like I feel like I was comparing. This was like a high thought I had. I was comparing like sales leads to like yard sales. You know what I mean? Like, cause if you know, like I had this lady ask me where I was headed to next, and she's like always trying to find the same shit I'm finding. She doesn't even. I don't think she even sells online, cause she tells me like. She always says shit to me like, oh, I got to sell you some stuff because you have a store. So I'm like, well, why are you here buying this shit? You know what I mean? Like, this lady's pushed me out of the way before for video games. Like, they weren't even good video games. So I was actually got to them first, and I put them down, and I was like, here, take them, because she, like, pushed me. I didn't want to buy them. I wasn't going to spend my money on them. And, like, it wasn't like a, you know, it was more of like a playful thing. But she's still fucking crazy as fuck. And, like, I see her all the time. And we're, like, on a first-name basis, you know what I mean? She comes to my yard sales, and, like, I'm not, like, I'm cool with her and shit. Like, I found a bunch of video games one time, and I showed her. I was like, hey, look. Like, fuck you, bitch. But, like, she's cool. She's always like, oh, I have shit that I should sell you, blah, 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 blah. So she had a yard sale this past week, and I went, and I couldn't find her sign. But anyway, she asked me at a sale, like, recently. She was like, oh, where are you headed after this? Like, I'm going to fucking tell you. So I told her, like, a sale I already went to. I was like, oh, I'm going, you know, to this one, whatever. They're having a sale. And then I just left and went, like, somewhere else. But, yeah, you, like, protect that shit. But there's, like, another guy who hits me up, and, like, I'll tell him where the fuck I'm going. And he tells me, like, hey, if I saw a sale that might have stuff that you want. But he, like, he's, like, not great at finding stuff that I want. Like, he's getting better. But he'll be like, yeah, there's a place that had like a bunch of that. He was the one that told me about the shirts. So he's like, oh, you know, you got to teach me because I don't know like how to spot fake shirts and shit. I'm like, well, it's easier than you think. I mean, in that situation, it's like they were clearly fake. You know what I mean? Like you could see it from a mile away. But obviously, to the untrained fucking eye, you know, he looks for tools, so he knows a ton about tools. I don't know shit about tools. I have no desire. I mean, I have a buddy who is thinking about doing reselling, so he's gonna like have tools. So I'm like thinking about picking them up, but no, I have no desire to do tools. It's so much work. Yeah. So yeah, that's just I just thought it was funny. I was just comparing. Like I keep going all over the place. I know that happens every time. That's what happens when you just are fucking spinning off the dome. But yeah, I just was thinking like yard sales are like leads, and like, you know, when you would try to get a lead in sales, like that's it. You're getting a lead on some shit. Like you got to get there and get there quick. So still haven't had like a crazy yard sale find in a while. I mean, it depends on how much those Yeezys will go for. I still don't know how much they go for fake. I have somebody who wants to buy them, but I got to kind of come up with a price in mind. So I got to hit up the fucking dude and see what he says. This was just another thing I was thinking about was, I don't know if anybody else has this with their significant other or not, but it's like the use of the word we. So, for example, it'll be like, oh, we need to mow the lawn, or like we need to, you know what I mean? It's like we instead of like you need to do these things. And I'm like, yeah. Like I'm not like, one of those husbands that's like doesn't do shit. I'm constantly doing shit around the house. But I'm like, all right, if I have to like, do shit, I have to do shit. But it's just funny because it's like always just like, oh, we need to do this. It's like, just say you. Just like, you need to do this. You know what I mean? So anyway, I just thought that was funny. And then, let's see. And then I was thinking about like, so stupid, but the song "Down with O.P.P." So, other people's pussy. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Like that's what it stands for. Because I think he says it in the song. Like he alludes to other shit, and one of the things he alludes to is like other people's, something about like he says something about a cat and some shit. But anyway, back in the day, there was always like before the internet, you would speculate like what it was like. You knew it was other people's. So some people said it was other people's pussy. Some people said it was other people's property. But I thought it would be like I was just thinking of it in terms of like yard sale and resellers. You know what I mean? Like if that was like your slogan, like you down with other people's property. Like it's obviously not their property anymore because you're buying it from a yard sale. I don't know. I thought it was silly. It's just a fucking dumbass thought I had. It's like down with O.P.P. But yeah, back in the day, you just didn't know. It's like, is it other people's property or other people's pussy? But if you listen to it as an adult, you're like, oh, it's 100% other people's pussy. He's talking about fucking people's girlfriends and wives. So that was just one thing that I thought was funny. So I might wrap it up early this week just because I don't have a ton of time. I wasn't planning on doing a podcast today, but the week is fucking flying by and there's shit going on. Hold on, let me see. I think I might have gotten a reply from this lady. Oh, no. Oh, wait, who is this? Ooh. Oh, so I hit this lady up and she got back to me. Let me see what it says. I wish I had seen this. Facebook Messenger never shows the thing. Okay, sorry. I'm like reading her thing. So, yeah, she had I had asked about like having stuff. And she said that but it says no early birds. I hate when they say that. So I'm going to ask her though. I'm going to be like, hey, I know your thing says no early birds, but I'm going to be out of town I'm not going to be out of town. I'm going to be at that big ass yard sale. So if I can pick it up earlier, I'm going to try to. But it says that she said that she has box. What did I ask for? I said, shit, what happens? I said, hi, may I ask if there's any other vintage toys beside the Furby? I'm also looking for old t-shirts, blah, 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 blah. She said, yes, there's many boxes that could have more of them. So I don't know what the fuck that means. I hate when people do shit like that. It's like, what does that even mean? So I'm going to message her back and see what she says. I thought it was the other lady getting back to me for giving her poor review. I hate giving people poor reviews. But like, that shit's annoying. I only have a certain amount of time in the day. You just wasted 40 fucking 5 minutes of my time. For what? A $10 fucking toy that you couldn't just have your dumbass husband leave out. Like if your fucking retarded husband couldn't just leave it out before he went to the gym. Like, oh, first he's at work, then he's at the fucking gym. Like, I should have just taken her stupid yellow watering can. She had a yellow watering can. She's like, leave it under the yellow watering can. Leave the money. I should have been like, all right, I'm going to take this yellow watering can as fucking payment for my gas money. You fucking stupid bitch. Use it as a murder weapon. Just like fucking murder her with a yellow watering can. It'd be like fucking McDonald's colors. It'd be like fucking yellow and red for fucking blood. Yeah, it sounded a little deranged. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up today, just because I don't want to ramble. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I don't want to talk about 15 minutes of fantasy football. I don't really have anything else. I'm trying to think any other last minute I talked about. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. So I'll wrap up on that. But yeah, make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. I should have another podcast out soon, hopefully. I'll be more prepared. I'll write down more topics. I know I said I was going to do that, but I did pretty good for not having a bunch of topics. And half of the topics I ended up covering, like, just going naturally. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.